In modern conflict, everybody wants to be faster. It's become an obsession. But what if that obsession with speed, operating at the pace of machines, is actually creating a profound new danger? We're about to explore how the very nature of speed itself has changed and what it really means for human judgment when the clock starts ticking in milliseconds.
This line pretty much captures the central tension of modern warfare, doesn't it? The benefits of speed are obvious, but the consequences of a high-speed error, well, they can be terrifying. The real question is, how do we get all the good stuff that speed offers without the catastrophic part?
To really get our heads around the problem, we first have to appreciate just how radically the pace of conflict has shifted. We're not just talking about moving faster on the battlefield anymore. This is about thinking and deciding at a speed that is fundamentally, well, no longer human.
Think about it. For most of history, war moved at a human pace. Information traveled by courier, commanders would deliberate over physical maps for days, and delay was just a built-in part of the process. And that delay, as frustrating as it might have been, actually created time for reflection. But today we operate at machine pace. The whole rhythm is set by networks and data models, and that time for deliberation has been compressed to almost zero. So why this relentless push for more and more speed? Well, because the promise of acceleration is incredibly seductive. And let's be honest, in some areas it delivers some seriously powerful advantages. Let's take a look at where going faster really does help.
I mean, speed is a massive asset when you're just drowning in data. Machines can sort and filter information at a scale no human could ever hope to manage, and that cuts the delay between seeing something and responding to it. By automating all the grunt work, it frees up commanders to focus on the things that really matter: ambiguity, intent, consequences. The goal, of course, is to act so quickly that you force the enemy to constantly react, always keeping them a step behind.
And all those benefits are very real. The problem begins when an organization stops seeing speed as a useful tool and starts treating it as an unquestionable virtue. The belief that faster is always better, well, that's exactly where the danger starts to creep in. And this brings us to the dark side of this acceleration. The seduction of machine time isn't just about being more efficient. It's about how it subtly changes our expectations and, under pressure, corrupts our judgment.
So, the critical question becomes, where is that line? When does this incredible tool turn into a massive hazard? It happens when the machine stops being an advisor and starts becoming the pace setter for human decision-making.
This leads to a really dangerous concept called the theatrical loop. Now, systems are always designed with a human in the loop for oversight. But when an alert pops up and demands a decision in just a few seconds, is that real judgment, or is it just a ritual? The system creates the urgency, it gives you the recommendation, and the human is basically just there to rubber stamp it.
And this is the trap. In that theatrical loop, you still hold all of the responsibility for the outcome. If something goes wrong, it's on you. But the system has stolen the one thing you need to exercise that responsibility: time to actually deliberate. It's a truly terrible bargain.
So how does failure actually happen at this new speed? Well, when you combine that intense pressure to be fast with automated systems, a single small error doesn't just happen, it scales, it goes viral.
It all starts with something small and uncertain. A sensor picks up a faint signal, or an algorithm flags a minor deviation from a pattern. It's not a fact, it's a low-confidence inference, basically a maybe.
But then the machine takes over. That maybe is instantly correlated with a bunch of other data points, it's classified according to some preset model, and it's amplified as it gets passed from one system to the next. And each step adds this layer of technical authority, making the initial guess seem more and more solid. So, what finally arrives on the commander's screen? It's not the original uncertain anomaly, oh no. What arrives is a polished, urgent, and seemingly indisputable fact. The shaky inference has been laundered by the process into a high-confidence alert that demands immediate action.
What this means is that catastrophe in the machine age might not look like chaos. It could be a perfectly functioning, elegant process that is confidently executing a fundamentally nonsensical idea. This is what we call orderly nonsense, and it's one of the biggest threats we face.
So what's the solution? We can't just abandon the technology, right? The answer seems to lie in a new kind of discipline, a doctrine for mastering tempo, not just giving into it. It's about learning to govern the two different clocks that are now always running. And this is the core principle right here. The job of a leader isn't to be impressed by how fast the system is. Their job is to govern it, to decide when to use that speed, when to question it, and, crucially, when to hit the brakes. This builds into a really practical framework. A smart doctrine knows which tasks to accelerate, things like sorting data and flagging anomalies. We let the machines do that work. But it also identifies the tasks that absolutely must be protected from haste, judging an adversary's intent, weighing consequences, interpreting ambiguity. These things require human deliberation, and deliberation requires time. And this brings us to the central metaphor here, the two clocks. You have the machine's clock, which is always pushing for faster action, for compression. It rewards speed. But then you have the strategic clock, which runs on a totally different time. It requires skepticism, confidence, and moral judgment. A wise commander knows which clock to listen to at any given moment.
This leads to a new way of thinking we can call tempo discipline. It means operating at multiple speeds, not just one. It means building deliberate pauses and thresholds right into our systems. It means we have to treat skepticism not as cynicism, but as a vital defense against that orderly nonsense. And ultimately, it reminds us that the goal isn't just to be fast, but to set a tempo that messes with the enemy without outrunning our own judgment.
In the end, it really all comes down to this. Technology is an incredibly powerful tool for manipulating time. It can give us more moments by compressing all the routine tasks. But what it can never do is tell us the purpose of those moments. That is, and always will be, a uniquely human and strategic responsibility.
And that leaves us with a final, kind of provocative thought. In a world that is completely obsessed with moving faster and faster, where every system is designed to eliminate delay, maybe the most powerful and decisive strategic advantage is just having the wisdom, the discipline, and the courage to pause.